Morning, guys. Welcome to Coffee Chat. Mm, mm. Wow, has it ever cooled off? Just take a look at the steam coming off of that cup there. I'll tell you what, hopefully you can see that. But boy, it has sure cooled down, I'll tell you. Guys, nothing has cooled down when it comes to the printing presses over there at the Federal Reserve, though. Get this. The article that I was reading this morning, they have just added another $600 billion in 1 month to the national debt. That is absolutely obscene. Can you even fathom that? I mean, we're talking in excess, well in excess of $500 billion worth of new debt just in 30 days. I mean, guys, it is absolutely insane. I mean, you are literally watching our country absolutely implode, and this economy, look, payday is coming. They're talking about, oh, well, we have to get inflation under control, and yet they're out there printing well over $500 billion in a month. I mean, that, have you ever even heard of such numbers? It is truly mind-boggling. With a rate of that kind of expansion in the national debt, you're talking like what? $500 billion, and you add that, I mean, you're what, 6 to 7, maybe $8 trillion new debt in just a year? That is way beyond that whole budget that they put in that Inflation Reduction Act, where they allowed themselves $4 trillion by the, before 2024 election and all that. Guys, this is absolutely ridiculous. And as far as I'm concerned, they're literally out there, and they see what's coming down the road, and they're just racking the credit card up as fast as they possibly can before the whole thing catches up with them. It reminds me of somebody that's literally insolvent and has given up and so on. Just before they are literally driven into bankruptcy, what do? They go out there and max out every credit card they possibly can and just go hog wild. That's what's going on. Boy, I'll tell you. And guys, just because the bill doesn't come to your door and it's in your mailbox and that kind of thing, because a lot of people, they treat, well, that's the federal government, that's their, problem, blah, blah, blah. As for me, da, 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 da. I'm telling you, what they're doing is literally taking your dollars and my dollars and our children's dollars, and get this, guys, our grandchildren and their children's dollars as well, right to our great-grandkids and maybe beyond, and taking them right out of their pocket and destroying the purchasing power like no tomorrow. And we know that at this present time, the dollar is already under major global attack. I mean, you had China, just like we reported yesterday, 1 million barrels of oil they bought out there using their digital yuan. That is as telltale as you will ever get. And I'm telling you, what is going to come next is going to literally terrify most people, and most are not ready for it. And it is so devastating to come out and even talk about, because look, it's like having a tsunami way out there in the middle of the ocean, and we all know it's coming, and it's coming fast. But people are out there playing on the beach, kicking their beach ball around, putting on a few little more layers of suntan lotion and all this and that, and acting like absolutely nothing is coming. And yet one of the most catastrophic things in their lives is going to hit their shores with such force and power. It is going to absolutely decimate them. And you sit there and you're watching that, and you're like, have you lost your minds? But that's what's going on to our economy. I mean, we are going to see an economic tidal wave like most people can't even fathom and don't even believe it's possibly going to happen. In fact, they're in their mind, because they, for generations, us, our parents, their parents, for generations, we have enjoyed such a lifestyle that most of the world can't even really keep up with it. And yet, you go to third world countries like Judy and I have, when we've done our mission trips and things like that, and you want to see poverty, look, we understand poverty from a mental capacity in terms of its definition. But I'm telling you what, and for those of you out there that have seen it, and know what I'm talking about, it is absolutely one of the most crushing expressions and experiences, I should say, as a human being when you witness that level of devastating poverty where people are absolutely starving. Literally, when right across the street you have other people that are absolutely living in the laps of life. It is truly unbelievable to really see it, but it's happened. And I'm telling you here, just because for generations we haven't experienced that, most people really don't believe that they're really going to feel that much pain. Oh, they might lose their job. Oh, they might do this, but they cannot even fathom living in the levels of what some of these other countries around the world that have had their economies absolutely decimated have lived. And boy, I'll tell you what, when it comes, it is going to be something to behold. Most people don't even realize. In fact, they literally get out there and they criticize preppers. People that have been literally seeing down the road the potential for an economic collapse in proportions that most of us have never even dreamed and have prepared for it. And they get out there and they call them conspiracy. They call them whack jobs. Hey, next thing they're going to call them is hoarders. And they didn't use their good common sense to go out there and prepare for, what's coming and save for a rainy day and all that kind of stuff. No, they're hoarders. Kind of like the person that spends every cent they earn, goes on every vacation they can, and uses their credit card to do it, and on and on. And that's the same person that will criticize, the other person that has actually put their money aside, saved it, invested, and actually built up a big nest egg. What do they call them? Well, they're skinflints, they're stingy, they're this, they're that. No, I'll tell you what they don't say. They don't say, wow, they're very wise, with their money. Wow, what a great steward. Boy, I wish I had the discipline that person does and their spending, and on and on. No, that's not what they say. What they say is just all the negative connotations that they could say. Well, I'll tell you what, guys, when you see the people that have been out there and have kind of had that foresight to see what's coming down the road and went out and really used that wisdom to prepare and, stock their shelves and, kept a little cash on the side, invested into this space and on and on. And isn't it amazing how all these big time players are talking about how this space is now a safe haven against the dollar and everything like that? Well, guys, it's because they're sitting at the table and they know exactly what's coming down the pike. They've already seen, they've been in the kitchen. They know what's getting served for dinner. And I'll tell you what, it's not something you and I want to eat, but that's what they're going to be serving us. And I'll tell you, it's going to be, look, you got to go out there, as far as I'm concerned, and do what you can do, as much as you can do right now, to go and prepare for what's coming, because the resulting inflation, you think inflation is bad now? You haven't seen nothing yet. And usually, guys, when they're in a pinch like they are, the way in which they are right now, what has historically happened when they have gone into these situations to drive them out of it? You guessed it, WAR, and in a powerful, powerful way. And what's going on around the world right now? What has been really building up? What has been gearing up? Guys, it will not surprise me if we see such a situation that drags the whole wide world into it, because look, they're in such a predicament right now, they have no more cans to kick down the road. And $600 billion of new money in 1 month, and you're telling me that this plan is working, this whole deal that they say to get us out of this fix? Not on your life. They are literally destroying this current economic fiat system, and it's happening right before our very eyes, and nobody, it seems, or very few people literally are clued in to what's genuinely going on. Boy, guys, you know why this upsets me so much and gets my blood boiling? Because of the pain that it is going to cause. There are families that are literally going to be absolutely destroyed because of what these big policymakers are doing with our economies. The pain and the hurt and the sorrow. You think that what 2008 and 9 crashed and had people losing their homes, literally families being separated, and parents and having to live in their vans out on the street with their kids, and on and on and on. Look, that was real. It really happened. And in the last Great Depression, those bread lines and those soup lines, that was a real deal. Well, guys, that was only with 30% unemployment back then. Get that. Are you kidding me? And most people didn't have personal debt racked up on credit cards or obscene mortgages or car payments and all that like they do today. What's going to come next we see a situation like we did in the 1930s, I'm telling you, it is going to be mind-boggling. And do you believe that all of this generation of people that are, all about, their rights and their tolerance, do you think that they have the Constitution to truly endure that when they literally don't even know how to, what to call themselves? I'm telling you, I don't think we're ready for it. In no way are we ever ready for it. And I'm afraid that in that scenario, people could literally turn on one another, and it will make us look like we're absolute dogs. I'm telling you. And that's why I'm so upset about it, because the consequence of it down the road is going to be so bad. And this is where I'm out there saying to people, look, you owe it to yourself to get out there and truly investigate this space. And beyond that, hey, look, put a little bit aside. We all have car insurance. Sure enough, we don't want to ever have to use it, but we got it. I'll tell you what, it pays to have a little, food insurance, a little, extra this, extra that, extra whatever, so that you can make it down the road. Now, you can take that advice, or hey, you can leave it. That's all on you. I completely, you've got the liberty to do that. But I'm telling you, with what's going on in this economy, you can't tell me that we're not going to have some sort of negative consequences coming down the road with $600 billion being printed and minted and spent literally in new debt in 1 month. Absolutely crazy. Wow. Guys, I sure hope that, you're digesting this with a real grain of salt, that it really is something that resonates, that you get it in there, because most of us in this space are of that prepared mind. That's why we're in this space, because we've seen things coming down the road and stuff like that, and we've acted on it, haven't we? And we're looking for a future because we can see how they're transitioning us into this new global economy in a powerful way. And boy, digital assets are definitely going to be a part of it too, be sure. Well, guys, I'll tell you what, I sure hope you're going to have an amazing day. And until later on today, and we do have an amazing video planned for you, I sure hope you have a great one, and take